If it works.
It works.
All right.
So,
I mean,
yeah.
are we live?
Yeah, we're live.
Oh, good. All right, folks. Welcome to the Real Pundits podcast. We are live today.
Yeah.
Well, it's been a few weeks.
Yeah. Took off a little bit for
Thanksgiving, and
the
we'll do
holidays.
We'll do it again for Christmas.
Are we? Because I thought we were going to be watching a movie together that we have punishment for.
I mean, not Christmas week.
Not Christmas week, all right.
I mean, I'm definitely not ruining my Christmas with that movie.
But it's going to be on for like 24 hours. So, I mean, you can watch it in segments, man. Now, for those of you who don't know what we're talking about, we have a punishment for a bet that we made over the Avengers movie.
Yeah, forever ago, April,
that, you know, we made our bet of, like, these are the people who are going to be in our Deadpool, and we lost.
Both of us.
We both lost. And so we're
watching A Christmas Story.
A Christmas Story.
Which I hate.
Also here, I've never actually finished that movie. I've gotten like 15 minutes into it and said I can't do it.
Like 20 years ago is when I finished it the last time I watched it, and I hated it then. I hated it 20 years ago.
That's hardcore.
I hate it now.
That is like the bottom of the barrel movie.
I see the stupid leg lamp in the store this time of year, and I get angry. It sends a rage. So this is going to be a great, fantastic review.
That's going to be a great way to start off the year.
Watch. I'm going to watch it, feel some special feeling, and it's going to be a Christmas miracle.
Is that how it is done? Is that
my heart will grow 3 sizes that day.
And a bell will ring and an angel will get its wings. How many more Christmas movie like jokes can we continue on with here?
We're done now. You just killed it when you explain.
I have to sometimes.
All right, so today we're going to be talking about, well, let's talk about the first thing first. Miss Marvel.
Yeah, well, we're supposed to call it that because Captain Marvel trailer.
It's a DC character.
Right. So the Captain Marvel trailer came out, and I was going to talk about this on the Geek Out, but man, I have some things I want to talk about.
There are some things that I'm excited about.
Okay.
I'm excited with the prospect of the Skrulls. I'm excited that they explained what the heck the teaser trailer was about when you watched her punch an old lady.
I was actually hoping that they would
not do that?
Not explain it. I enjoyed the fact of you having to wait, which is where my beef comes into.
Oh, no, they explained way too much in the trailer.
Yeah.
I didn't need to know that it was about Skrulls. I mean, it's got me interested. So it did its job for those of us that know what Skrulls are.
Yes, but getting into the entire concept of what the Skrulls are and how they are effectively in the Marvel Universe, we're missing a part of this.
You are not seeing the potential future movie that I'm seeing.
Oh, I'm talking about the potential future movie, but they're doing it backwards.
Oh, I mean, when the Skrulls invade Earth in the comic series, there's a specific scene in the comics with a baseball game.
Oh, we're going to that direction.
And a character who is at said baseball game that makes the Skrulls' life a living hell.
Yes.
And now that Disney owns that character...
True.
I can't wait to see and now it'll never happen.
It'll never happen.
But an R-rated Deadpool 3 with Skrulls, I can dream.
You can dream, but I'm going the other direction.
Only thing I'm excited about, really.
Skrulls were actually a big deal dealing with the Fantastic Four. So this could also be a primer for introducing the villains, because there's only one way to get Super Skrull, which is by the Fantastic Four, which is all of their powers combined, except for Heart, so no Mati. So,
no Captain Planet.
No Captain.
But you get a better one. You get Doom.
That is what I'm waiting for. Now, I'm not waiting for a Doom movie. I'm going to bring that up any chance I have an opportunity to. But enough about Skrulls. What did you think about the trailer? Not
way
basing
too much.
It off of the teaser.
Way too much. Way too much. If you take the idea that they got me excited with the prospect of Skrulls and all the possibilities that happen with that storyline, which of course they'll Disney-fy it and I'll be unhappy, but you know, I can still hope and dream.
Yeah, of course. Hopes and dreams are what things are made of.
Yep. They explained way too much. They gave way too much away. There wasn't enough kept for me to want to go see the movie and still feel like I'm going to be surprised in the film. I feel like I now know the story. She gets taken from Earth. She has an accident as a pilot, gets taken from Earth. She gets trained to be one of the Skrull hunters. Comes back to Earth hunting Skrulls, realizes that she has a life there. And you basically have 90s Nick Fury in between all of that, fighting Skrulls alongside of Miss Marvel. And somehow Nick Fury acts like the Chitauri was the first alien group. Still, you realize that there's a plot hole in this, right?
Oh, yeah.
So the Chitauri were the first aliens that Nick Fury, quote unquote, ever saw. And that's why he had to take the Tesseract and make weapons. That was the entire underlying secret plot of the first Avengers film. But if Nick Fury is with Captain Marvel fighting Skrulls, then he knew aliens existed, he knew humans weren't the baddest thing on the planet, and he should have been developing these weapons long before he had his hands on the Tesseract.
See, you're going with it in a totally different direction than I was going with it. But valid point. But let's see if there's a reason why.
I mean, maybe he gets his brainwashed, or Nick Fury's a Skrull the whole time.
Dun, 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 dun.
And then Thanos did us a favor by turning him into space dust.
See, my problem comes into, I like Brie Larson. I think she's done some really cool...
She's better than Brie Olson.
Really cool. You threw me off on that one. She's done some really cool movies. Some things that I'm actually going, I like this movie. This is one of my favorite movies. I hope that some of the lines that were delivered by her are cleaned up, and this trailer is maybe cutting room floor stuff.
Probably, as it usually is, except
because
for the Skrulls.
The action sequences look cool. We're seeing a lot of stuff in space, which, I hate to say it, looks very Green Lantern-ish. I wasn't going
to go there.
I had to. I
sorry. Thought about
as
it.
A
I wasn't
comic
going to go
fan,
there.
As a comic fan, I had to go there. My biggest problem is I'm going to end this war. She didn't sell me on the line. I know there's a lot of people like, oh, you're bashing her because she's a woman. No, I'm bashing on her because that line did not sell me.
I'll tell you what. I'm going to go back to my original thought of this movie. Okay. You're a little late, Marvel. I'm not bashing on her because she's a woman. I'm bashing on her because she's not Wonder Woman that happened 2 years ago. You wanted us to do a strong female lead. You should have done it when Wonder Woman did it. You should have had her involved with Infinity War. She's not that powerful. Let's be real. Miss Marvel is powerful, but she's not Thanos level powerful. She's barely Thor level powerful. So the fact that we are
actually handle her own versus Nova. Nova, not the Nova Corp. I'm talking about actual Nova.
She's not Thor level powerful though. So we're going to act like this is the trump card, that this is the one character. Like at the end of it, he's like, oh, we got to call Miss Marvel to handle Thanos?
Yes, because she's attached to actual Power Cosmic. If we're going to have this mini geek out episode.
I get that she's attached to Power Cosmic, but how does he know what Power Cosmic is? He's Nick Fury, and the Chitauri were the first aliens he ever saw.
Because of the things that she can do and a little bit of Kree blood. But that's besides the point.
Yes. Okay. But the
point they're going to go through and explain all of this in this movie. I'll let it ride.
The point is they should have done this 2 years ago. They should have done this even if they were trying to wrap up what they were doing and make it tie into the next Avengers film. I get it. They had too many plans, and then DC was like, "We're going to do a whole universe right now in 2 years." I get it.
It couldn't have been done at that time.
They could have been smarter about it.
My biggest problem isn't the Captain Marvel thing. It happens to do with most people don't even know who she is.
I mean, 90s kids remember who she is.
Barely.
Because there's an X-Men cartoon, and Rogue steals her powers, and that's how she gets super strength in flight.
We're not going to get into the Warbird thing. Now,
I mean, she looks like Warbird in the comic, in the movie trailer, because it looks like that thing just pops on her head every time she powers up.
But that's actually part of the whole...
I know.
The Captain Marvel costume. But getting into the whole thing, at the very end of it, she's not as... When Guardians of the Galaxy came out, I would say your general public, your non-comic book geekdom fans, didn't even know who the Guardians were.
I'd say that even casual comic book fans didn't know who the Guardians of the Galaxy were.
Casual comic book fans know that the Guardians of the Galaxy exist, but don't know who the original Guardians were.
They know that it's a comic. You see it in the comic book store, but it's the comic book you walk past. It's not a comic book.
No one keeps up with the comic book level stuff. And that's the reason why when it happens, everyone's like, who? But they made magic happen with that movie.
That was the actors involved.
Right.
We've seen the formula of Nick Fury discovers hero saves the day with the help of Nick Fury. We've seen the formula. Nobody cares.
Yes, and I I think my biggest problem is I'm holding it up against the same candle that we put up with Iron Man, because we're playing that same role all over again.
Oh yeah, no, we are definitely setting up for Phase 5 and the post Avengers,
and we're starting all over from scratch, the same way we did with Iron Man. But the problem was with Iron Man, I was sold.
You need a new formula.
Moment I saw.
But see, were you sold because it was the first real Marvel Studios movie, or were you sold because it was better than X-Men?
No, I was sold because RDJ was Tony Stark's.
Right. Okay. And you can't really say that this chick can't play, that Brie Larson isn't Miss Marvel, because
You keep on doing that. It was killing me.
yeah, well, she's Miss Marvel. I don't care what they're calling her in the film. She's Miss Marvel. But you can't say that she's not Miss Marvel.
We have nothing to base it off of.
Exactly. But you knew that a drunk playing a drunk was going to work.
It worked so well.
Yeah, no, because the Robert Downey Jr., if you look at his character, he is post his rehab, he was a selfish, alcohol-fueled playboy.
Yeah, and it worked out.
And that's exactly who Tony Stark is before his character arc.
Yeah, and it worked for his character arc, and you felt that character. As soon as I saw him, I was like, they did it perfectly.
Yeah.
And it wasn't a thing of all the other movies that currently existed. But with Brie, there's something that's missing. There's magic that's missing, I think, from this one.
Do you want to know what I can compare the knowledge that Brie Larson was going to play Miss Marvel to the same thing I just read and my reaction of the what if scenario.
Okay.
Do you know who auditioned 4 times for the role of Captain America?
Hit me.
Dane Cook. Obviously, they made
as you
a
know,
good
I'm
choice.
in silence, and
Yeah.
I was kind of.
Obviously, they made a
right
good
now.
choice by doing Chris Evans. But what if they'd have done Dane Cook? You'd have the same feeling about Dane Cook that you do about Brie Larson.
I almost had those same feelings about Chris Evans, because I mean, look at where we came from. I mean, he was in Scott Pilgrim playing a silly role. That was
another teen movie.
Yeah, which again, another silly role. And then leading up to that, he was the Human Torch, and I was actually okay with his role as the Human Torch.
But see, here's what
Fantastic
sold me.
Four.
Here's what told me that he could do that.
Okay.
Think back to a movie that he didn't do, but a Australian actor did.
Okay.
Called 10 Things I Hate About You.
Okay.
Pretty popular teen movie.
Yeah.
Right? Then a few years later, he does a movie called The Knight's Tale.
Oh boy, I know where you're going.
And then he played the Joker.
Yeah.
And so, like, knowing that you can go from obscure, kind of cheeky roles.
Okay. I'm waiting for you to lead this back home, because Dane Cook is not in that same category.
No. Dane Cook is not. No, this is Chris Evans.
Yeah, I know.
Why I feel like Chris Evans could do this.
How did Dane Cook even get in the door?
I'm assuming at the time when they were casting, he was just falling down.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then his star was still there, but it wasn't rising anymore. It was falling. And Chris Evans was kind of stagnant too. But of course, now he's, a blockbuster actor. So he can do whatever he wants now, as long as he steps away at this movie, which I believe he's going to.
Oh, but that's not even a bet that we have to make. That's
he's already announced it. But yeah, he can now go step and do whatever he wants to do, just like Chris Helmsworth, who was already doing whatever he wanted to do initially anyway. Which, turns out he's funny.
Men in Black.
Is he doing that?
Yeah, that's the next project. It's already.
Who's with him?
I have to get her name, but
because you know what the important thing is that Will Smith is doing Bad Boys 3. That's the important thing.
That is
everything else doesn't matter.
And also Aladdin.
Nope, don't care.
Gotcha.
Bad Boys 3. But on a different, since we're discussing trailers before we get into the main topic, I read the title of this film for like months ago when we were talking about what was coming up, and it didn't click with me. The idea of this movie called Vice.
Ah, yes.
I kept thinking Miami Vice. I was like, why are they doing another Miami Vice? This looks stupid. And then I saw the trailer, and I have to say,
what do you think?
There is a movie I'm excited for. I'm excited for this for 2 reasons.
Okay.
Christian Bale playing Dick Cheney.
And that guy is so method, it's not even funny.
Yeah, no, Christian Bale goes.
He goes the extra mile.
But the fact that you're seeing like that, what we all know happened in a movie, like I don't know what they're going to embellish. Like I don't think you have to.
we're gonna
we
wait.
know that this guy, like they show it in the trailer, he shoots a dude while hunting, right? That happened in real life.
I can't believe this is where we've turned into is talking about Cheney.
Well, I mean, no, they're doing a movie about Dick Cheney. I'm excited. I'm not a fan of Dick Cheney. I'm terrified of the man. So is George Bush, I'm sure. But it's one of those things that I can't believe they're doing a movie about it. I can't believe whoever wrote this script didn't die, because that's how powerful Dick Cheney is. He shot a man while hunting.
Okay.
And nobody said anything. They're just like, "Yep, that's Dick Cheney. Gotta go."
So I'm glad you're interested in seeing
So yeah,
that
I'm
one.
very excited to see this film.
And for
I
me-
want to see how much truth, how much of the facts that we all know to be true, if they discuss anything with Halliburton or any of the things that actually happened. But I'm really excited to see this. And Christian Bale is super. He's a really good actor when he's not playing Batman. Christian Bale was a great Bruce Wayne.
Okay.
Batman, no good. Yeah.
Now, here's my thing. It's the crew that's putting this movie together. You know how you have Broken Lizard, where it's that same crew that does the same movies over and over again.
Yeah.
This is almost the same.
No, this is the people that did one of my favorite.
American Hustle.
No, American Hustle. No.
Yeah, it's the same.
No, I know they did that, but that's not what I'm talking about. One
What
of
are
my
you
favorite films of 3 years ago.
Which one?
The Big Short.
Okay.
That was one of my favorite films from 3 years ago, and it was pretty historically accurate.
It's the team, man. They can pull
But
off
it's the same
these
people. And Steve Carell's back in this.
Yeah,
so
Steve
Christian
Carell.
Bale and Steve Carell are back in it. The only thing I don't know
Rockwell,
if Ryan
Amy
Josling's in it, then it's because Ryan Gosling was in The Big Short.
So yeah, but it's the fact that Amy Adams is back again. I mean, they're putting this entire crew together of the same people. Just put characters in a hat. Reach in.
Matthew McConaughey.
No, McConaughey. He's the only one that I'm seeing that didn't join in for this one.
But it's fine.
It's
okay.
fine. It's
So
just my big one for that's coming up. The trailer that keeps on wowing me. And I don't care what anyone has to say. Into the Spider-Verse. I'm chomping at the bit, man. It's beautiful animation.
I am pretty excited to see Miles Morales' story and
the crossovers they're pulling.
Oh, the crossovers! But I think that the main Spider-Man is supposed to be Miles Morales.
Yeah, it's the main.
Which is cool.
It's
the only
cool.
thing that the only thing I'm regretting not happening, because now we have Into the Spider-Verse Spider-Man thing going on.
Mm-hmm.
We've got, of course, your Tom Holland Spider-Man. Why is nobody even talking about doing superior Spider-Man?
Timing.
You could do a Spider-Man 1, or even, Homecoming, right?
Right.
Could be Doc Ock. And that whole thing happens.
They've already spread it far enough. There's going to be a lot of people confused about Spider-Gwen. And also Spider-Ham.
Right, but you don't need those. Those are in the Spider-Verse. I'm talking about Tom Holland.
Yeah, I know, but saying, like, right now, the normal people who aren't geek initiated are going to be like, who's Spider-Ham? Who's like Noir Spider-Man? They're not going to get that. They're not going to get into. They're really opening up a lot of people. The Spider-Ham thing alone is going to blow people's minds.
I'm excited.
I'm excited for it.
So let's transition from excitement into our movie review of the day.
I'm still excited.
I am excited about this movie review because
one movie
unlike
I could say we as a
team both agree that this movie was phenomenal. I don't care what the rest of you say as soon as we announce the title, because this movie was great.
You want to give the score ahead of time instead of doing it at the very end? Because it seems like we have. I don't think.
It's a 3.5 on my end. It's a 3.5.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can't fight you.
It's a 3.5 out of 5. The score of this film. Before we get into the title, understand that online this is universally debated. Half the people think it's an over-the-top, stupid action film. The other half think it's a cautionary tale of fascism and a pro-diversity inclusion film saying that women can do exactly what men can do. It just depends on how you view the film. The book was intended to be an anti-fascist propaganda piece. In fact, this whole movie looks like one giant propaganda film. That's right, folks. We're talking about Starship Troopers.
Would you like to know more?
I'm doing my part.
I'm doing mine. And let's all laugh pointlessly. Oh, boy. Starship Troopers, 1997.
Yeah, man.
It aged well.
11 years.
It aged really well. It still looks like a cheesy, like
over-the-top action film. Yeah,
almost a serial. It had a serial feel with a modern-day action film. So to me, it worked.
Directed by Paul Verhoeven.
David,
not David. It's Paul.
It's Paul.
It's Paul Verhoeven.
Okay.
And I pronounced his name incorrectly. I know I did, but this gentleman is a phenomenal director who is doing nothing now except for some obscure stuff.
Knock him down on the things that this man has put out.
This man did 1987's RoboCop. He did 1990's Total Recall. He did Basic Instinct. That's right, that Basic Instinct with that one scene with Sharon Stone. Yeah, Sharon Stone. He
did Hollow Man. Let's give props
he
to the man.
did Hollow Man.
One of his better movies.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
What?
The main actor in this, Casper Van something or other.
Yeah.
Right? 6 Degrees to Kevin Bacon.
You can do it?
Yeah.
Do it.
He was in Starship Troopers, directed by Paul Vorheim, who directed Hollow Man, starring Kevin Bacon.
Can you really use directors on the 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon?
I mean,
I bet it can be done better.
Okay. He was in Starship Troopers with Denise Richards, who was in Wild Things with Kevin Bacon. All things on this list lead back to Kevin Bacon at some point.
All right.
Once again, Kevin Bacon, the glue that holds Hollywood together in the 90s.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
And the other one, you just left out the one that you said that was most critically acclaimed out of all the movies that made...
Showgirls.
I hate that movie.
Whether you hate it or not, it was critically acclaimed. People loved it.
All right. So, in the world of critics, somewhat people loving it, on Rotten Tomatoes, it has a 63%.
Metacritic got it 51. People did not like this film. I mean, it got, on Rotten Tomatoes, it scores higher than the most recent Robin Hood. 14% on Rotten Tomatoes right now.
Ooh.
Yeah, people did not like it. People did not like it. But that's not the point of tonight. Tonight is praising the amazing story that is Starship Troopers.
And major props to Robert A. Heinlein for actually even writing the book, because without that, we wouldn't have gotten this movie.
So,
some time in the making on that one.
It's one of those films that blends the elements of science fiction, horror, and comedy together beautifully. There's even a Busey in it, and that's how you know it's good. The film, of course, very heavy special effects, a heavy dose of humor thrown in to soften the mood. There's a lot of complaints about people from certain people online about how Buenos Aires, is whitewashed. It's all just filled with white people. Basically, this is your sci-fi 90210 versus Bugs, because everybody in this movie is beautiful, except for Ironside.
But Ironside, man.
He's not a beautiful man.
He's not a beautiful man, but he played Ironside. Ironside to the
He is phenomenal. But everybody else is beautiful in this film. Even the Busey looks good.
Is that the only good-looking Busey
that's
the
only? No, because now he looks like his dad.
Oh, okay. I was wondering how long that would take.
Yeah, he's not good looking now. But no, even the
perfect.
Yeah, huge but perfect. So this movie was, like I said, Beverly Hills 90210 in space versus Bugs.
But see, I look at it from the sci-fi point of view. It was well put together. More ammunition used in this film than any other.
So
it was well put together.
The plot of the film.
Go ahead, man. You already said it. 90210 versus the Bugs.
It is a war between the Bug universe and our universe.
Mm-hmm.
So let's get into the democracy has failed.
Yes.
Right? The world is in one government, fairly fascist. I would say incredibly fascist. The only way to become a citizen is to become a soldier. You can either be a pilot or you can be mobile infantry.
You know, there was like another job, but no one ever talks about it.
The psychics.
There you go.
Those are the officers. And don't think that Doogie Hitler was not a...
Oh, wow.
No, and I say that because he looked like an SS officer.
Yeah,
Neil Patrick Harris looked like an SS officer.
That uniform was...
That was Doogie Hitler right there.
Doogie Hitler.
Yeah, for those of you that don't know, Neil Patrick Harris, before he started this movie, played a doctor on television called Doogie Howser. Teen MD, and it was bad. So I mean, in this movie, he plays a psychic who becomes basically the main officer, the guy in charge of the entire war effort, because he's that powerful of a psychic. It's really convenient that our three heroes knew each other in high school and all rose to the ranks that they did. One is a captain of a ship. The other one is a lieutenant of the Roughnecks.
Rico's Roughnecks.
Rico's Roughnecks. It used to be Ratchek's Roughnecks.
Yeah, that got quick.
Yeah, he died. He died on the Bug Planet. So they're sent to these kids, the new recruits are sent blindly into the Bug Planet on some misinformation. Most of them die. Our main character, Casper Van Bean or whatever his name is, I really don't know. Rico, yeah. So Rico, he almost dies. They put him back together. His ex-girlfriend from high school is a pilot. She almost dies, but she manages to come out completely unscathed.
Not even
and
injured.
She's
not
is
bad.
the convenient plot device in this film.
Yeah, if you look at it, she is the convenient
She is
plot
the
device.
captain. She is the pilot that rescued them when the lieutenant died.
Mm-hmm.
She is the only one to survive the brain bug when her and her new boyfriend get caught, and he gets his brain sucked out by
Like
the
a
vagina
Capri
bug.
Sun.
By the vagina bug.
Moving forward.
I'm just saying what that looked like.
Moving forward.
She was when everybody got finished with basic training and they go to the first starship waiting for their orders and where they're going and who they're with. She's the first person Rico sees in the mess hall.
Now, do you think it was because of, at that time, she was the biggest name next to Michael Ironside? Because, I mean,
Denise Richards was a nobody.
Nah,
At that time? She hadn't even done Wild Things yet.
That was not the point of that girl. You know, there was things that she did before that.
Yeah, but nobody cared. She wasn't very good of an actress.
She wasn't very good of an actress then, now, or any other time.
Yeah, she's not a good actress. And then she married Charlie Sheen. If you want to know how her life went. She did
Tiger's Blood.
she did Starship Troopers. She did Wild Things. Then she married Charlie Sheen. Oh no! And in Wild Things, she had a threesome with Nev Campbell and Matt Dillon.
Wow, you're going for the gusto today, aren't you?
But no, okay. Look, I'm going back to the movie I'm praising. I may not like Denise Richards, but she did okay in this film. Everybody did okay. Nobody had a standout role except for Michael Ironside. That's it. That was the standout guy.
I'm thinking about it. Yeah,
the teacher that was influential. Like, you want to serve? I lost my arm. You want to do it?
Yeah.
It reminds me of if you put United States Marines in the same room as United States Air Force, it's exactly how that would go. The Air Force would make some snooty comment about the Marine Corps. There'd be a fist fight in the mess hall where the Marine is obviously winning, and they explain that the other Marines have to pull the other Marine off.
Hoorah! What's your problem?
No, but I feel like that was not in the book, but I feel like that was intentionally put there. Like, Marines are going to love this.
And I know quite a few that do. Would you like to know more?
I'm doing my part.
And I'm doing mine.
Which is, by the way, my favorite scene in the film is where the kids are stomping on like the cockroaches.
And that lady starts laughing like she's nuts, man.
It was terrifying. But so it's this cute propaganda film of they're doing their part. They're helping kill the bugs.
No, but that little brunette lady, just laughing is not like the normal laugh of those kids. She's laughing like hysterically, like.
Or the guy that reminded me of a caricature of like if Charlie Chaplin talked when they're having their debate on
that lady kicks him.
Yeah, we shouldn't be in the bug planet.
But I love that. It
was all over the top. It was beautifully done,
and it felt like an old school, like
cheesy action film.
Yeah.
See, I think the internet's right on both things because the writer of the book, which the movie was nothing like the book.
Oh gosh, no.
Did intend for it to be an anti-fascist propaganda piece. Like this is what can happen if we let democracy die. So they adapted that in the movie. The problem is the movie was done so well that you also, like, on the other end of how do you appeal that message to the mass general audience? Well, you dumb it down and make it a cheesy action flick. Bam. Let's talk about the numbers though, because here's where that gamble failed.
Yeah.
With no real star power besides Michael Ironside, who was not a top billed cast member. The budget on this film was $105 million, and in 1997, that was the equivalent of like $200 million today.
And it looks really well. It aged really well because I mean,
the CGI in that film it was basically all CGI, CGI bugs, CGI everything.
Yeah, even Denise Richards was CGI. I don't think she was real.
I've never thought she was real.
Okay, so
she's like Elizabeth Hurley,
another digital actor.
Yeah.
Okay.
She's just digitally placed. Like the Weird Science kids developed both of these.
Wow, so that's how this movie connects.
It does.
I did not realize
to Kevin Bacon.
Oh,
yeah, it's the Weird Science to Kevin Bacon.
Okay, that's the new thing. But let's talk money real quick.
Okay, so budget was $105 million, grossed at $54 million globally. This movie initially tanked. It tanked. It took a decade for them to start doing sequels to this, which were direct-to-DVD sequels. Understand that this movie came up before DVDs. It was VHSs.
Yeah.
This movie tanked. Years later, people started picking up. It's like The Room, but way better. The Room became a cult classic as it was universally decided it was the worst film ever made.
Yep.
This movie became a cult classic because it was a cheeky action film that may or may not have been intelligent.
It had its moments. That's when
it was definitely an intelligent film. This movie, and it was beautifully set up to where the whole movie, if you were to put it in their universe, and showed that movie and their universe, it's one giant propaganda film.
Which is exactly what
it was intended
recruiting
to be.
video.
Yeah, and it was beautifully done. Even at the very end of the film, they do the whole the last commercial for the joining the mobile infantry, where they show Lieutenant John Rico, and he's like, "Come on, Ames, do you want to live forever?" And that line stuck with me.
Yeah.
Now, I was playing football shortly after this, and we used that when we were running out to the field to pump ourselves up, when I was a jock in my younger years.
And which means to me that no matter what the Metacritic or the Rotten Tomatoes score says, that movie had impact. Whether you hated it or love it, that movie had impact.
Listen, Rotten Tomatoes and Metacritic, they don't know anything about these are users. These aren't these are people who are watching movies, and the words of Ben Affleck when he starred in what's that movie? Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. Okay. The internet is a place where people could get together and complain about movies.
Isn't that what we're doing?
I'm not complaining. I'm praising.
Oh, today's a praising. Oh, okay, okay. Oh, I forgot.
This movie was so well done. It was so poorly received by the critics and by the audience at the time, and I get it. In 1997, you had a bunch of other films come out. This is the year after Romeo. This is the year after Romeo and Juliet. This is the same year as Titanic. So you had blockbusters come out this year that were crushing it in the theaters, and of course, it wasn't going to do very well. I'm sure it was up against many other things. That were gonna overshadow it, which happens sometimes. You can't do anything about that.
And it's also science fiction. Science fiction movies always
they were definitely not doing well in the 90s. Horror was doing well, as it always does. The goth trendy movies were doing well, and sci-fi really didn't start doing well to The Matrix 2 years later.
No, that definitely will be a battle that we will have to have, because tonight we're all about praising. I want to keep you on that positive note.
I'm not saying no. This is positive, man. Matrix is not a negative either.
No, it's not a negative, but I think there was stuff that was before
not as successful.
Numbers wise, no.
Right, and then now we have Marvel movies, which are technically sci-fi films.
No comment.
They're sci-fi films, and they're the most successful movies out there. You wouldn't have any of this without The Matrix.
Oh, that's a good topic we should talk about.
Yeah. Okay, so that's on a different episode, but on this episode, Starship Troopers. Amazing
movie. I think no matter what that can be said, it was all well put together. To me, I watched it 3 times just to get prepped up for the show, and it's still just as good.
Yeah.
It's not one of those movies that you start going.
And another cool thing is the heroes of the film were not even the hero of the film.
No.
The guy that caught the brain bug was a side character you forgot about 10 minutes after he got off screen.
Yeah.
Zim. He was a drill instructor. He threw a knife through the Busey's hand.
Which was one of the best parts of the entire film.
Yeah.
I think he missed, though. Should have caught it in his teeth.
That teeth would have caught the knife. He had damaged that blade.
Teeth would have thrown the knife behind.
Yeah, he knew. That's why he said, "Stick your hand out and I'll put your face there." Oh man, but no, it was a very good film. A little bit intense. There's
some graphic scenes.
There's the whipping scene was a bit much.
When they were going to the little Mormon compound and there's body parts everywhere. Mm-hmm. You're going, wow, this was just kind of. Oops, we just threw in some gruesome stuff. I mean, the people getting bit in half, legs chopped off. I enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm.
If you're gonna fight that, give us the gruesome, but along with.
And I love how he was promoted. Every time Rico was promoted to new rank, it was very unceremoniously. It was because somebody just died.
Yeah,
it was exact. But it's like, hey, I need a new corporal. You're it until you die, or I find somebody better. Then the sergeant dies. I need an acting sergeant.
Move on up the rank.
And then the lieutenant dies. Well, now you, sergeant, are now the lieutenant.
And take over.
Yep. And now it's Rico's Roughnecks. And then, of course, Marauders happen in number 3.
What?
Exactly.
You said Marauders?
Yeah.
What is that movie? I've totally missed that on that horrible...
That's when Rico becomes...
horrible.
Rico becomes the villain.
See, if we get into that, all I have to do is talk about Pitch Black during that same time period, and we'll go on for hours.
Pitch Black was great. I
love the Chronicles of Riddick.
I love the Chronicles of Riddick. I love the Chronicles of Riddick. You're not gonna not sell me on that.
Oh no, it's not a thing of that
Necromongers.
selling.
There's some that is some Sharknado level bad, and I love it.
I thought that
there are some like Pitch Black and the actual Riddick movie. So just a little side note here, away from the Starship Troopers. We'll come back to it, but since you brought up Pitch Black, that was a really serious done sci-fi horror.
Yes.
Right. The Riddick film was a cool sci-fi survival.
Yes.
Chronicles of Riddick was the greatest cheesy sci-fi film I've ever seen.
All right. On the Sharknado scale, how cheesy is it?
One being
Sharknado, what, 6?
No, one being Sharknado, 10 being Mega Shark versus Two-Headed Shark.
Yeah,
because that is a movie that exists.
Oh gosh.
It's Poultrygeist.
Okay.
So number 9.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah, it's like trauma quality, bad good.
Trauma quality. Wow, it's like Trauma Vision. You're gonna go for that?
Quadravision.
Quadravision.
Yeah,
Rated
it's
R.
not quite. It's not like the step above the number 10 slot is the only number 11 that exists, and that was filmed in cinematic
Quadravision
and was rated R.
Okay, as long as we're getting that Black Dynamite moment.
But Black Dynamite, I sell drugs in the community.
Oh,
that should be the next thing we talk about. We should just do an episode.
Why even talk about it? We'll just go on for hours about it.
At least we'll be positive again in the Christmas season. I have nothing bad to say. I threw that before I came in the room.
Oh, that would be awesome.
On back to the Starship Troopers.
Back to the Starship Troopers. We gave our final score
3.5.
Is a 3.5. I was going to give it like a 3.8, but we don't have those
No, we don't do those sliding scales.
It's sliding scales.
You got halves.
But I'm waiting for us to actually break a 4. Like an honest 4. There's not a fight for it, but an honest 4.
Yeah, I'm sure it exists. In fact, I know it exists.
We find out if it exists in the upcoming year with the list?
Definitely. I think there's quite a few movies on there that are 5s.
Wow.
Yeah, there's even some 6s on there.
But our scale only goes
You're
up to
right.
5. Oh boy, we're breaking scales.
There's one movie that breaks the scale entirely. One
that we'll both agree on is a 6.
Oh yeah.
I
guarantee it. It starts with a C.
Okay.
And it's in black and white.
That leaves a lot of movies out there. Well, we'll hop into
It's on the list.
I know it's on the list. All right, so guys, we've had a little bit of fun tonight, and
Starship Troopers. Let us know what you think of that film.
Yeah.
Go ahead and give us a shout. Send us an email. The address there is mailbag@therealpundits.com.
If you want to track me down on Twitter, you can sit there and find me at A&A Real Pundit. And thanks for all the new listeners that we're getting out there. I've been talking to some people and I've got a conversation started up, so I know definitely got one more new one.
At Brand Real Pundit is my Twitter, and I'm not using it, so it's pointless, but you can definitely try me out on it, and we'll see if I can get back on Twitter. I can't remember my password at all. I'm just going to create
If you go one more show without having a Twitter account, you're going to get stuck in the Geek Out world for at least 3 episodes. I'm just going to keep on bringing up.
No, I'm trying to remember my password, man, and I don't remember how to get into the email, and it's just bad.
All right, here
I'm gonna create a new Twitter. But if I can't figure it out, I'll create a new Twitter.
Create a new Twitter, and for now, you get shame. I need a bell.
Ding.
Because you definitely need it, because you have to get it up there, because you're going to open your mouth about something coming up very soon. Because soon, no matter what we're talking about, all I know that we're going to be talking about is Game of Thrones. So you from now.
Speaking of that, did you see that trailer teaser?
I'm not going to comment about
nothing. It just gave me clips of.
It's the reason why I'm not talking, but it's because for once we got a real trailer. Don't show me everything.
It didn't show me anything.
That's the whole point.
It showed me last season and the season before that.
But you know it's coming.
Oh,
Just
I know
like
it's
winter
coming.
was coming. Oh, but now it's here.
Winter is here. Yeah,
winter is here.
And Jon Snow is King of the North. Which, by the way, I have some discrepancies there.
You have discrepancies? Well, we'll find out what those discrepancies are next time on the Real Pundits podcast.
Yes.
We're out.